He was 12 years old when it happened. His mother stood beside him, silent. His father spoke the words.
You're so quiet. They don't like you. You're not welcome anymore.
I come home and my parents were like sad, crying, and I'm like, what's wrong? The foster parents don't want you to come back anymore. I'm like, why? Because of who you are. Of what? Yeah, you're difficult to handle, you're very quiet. The kids who were there, it's very difficult to interact. They just find you difficult.
Then they left him, alone.
The mother came there because obviously she had the other people coming there. And she started to explain, yeah, but we wanted you to go to the boarding school and then in the weekend you can come. At that time, I'm like, you don't want me, I don't care. I don't care about you guys anymore. You know, I was nice to you. You didn't have the decency to say it. I'm 17 years old, I will say it to your face. I don't like you anymore.
And from that silence came a fury.
He's a perfectionist.
He's so good, he's world class. Like
The way he sees the game, his brain is second to none.
See, man, when you come to passing, no one comes near him.
Kevin De Bruyne! De Bruyne! Beauty! Piercing strike from Kevin De Bruyne! That is brilliant! Kevin De Bruyne! Oh, what a sensational player! City lead again! The champions of the land, Manchester City!
He turned his pain into precision, and with every touch of the ball, the boy they discarded became the man the world could not ignore. This is the story of Kevin De Bruyne, how exile became excellence. Kevin trained alone, long after the field emptied. He stayed until the sun dropped, just him, a worn-out pair of boots, and the ball. His first touch wasn't magic, but it was consistent, wall after wall, pass after pass, 1,000 silent reps, until his timing was surgical.
When I first started to play the games, they always said I was too young, too skinny to handle the physicality at that time.
At Genk, it wasn't talent that caught their eye. It was that fire, that cold, quiet edge. Coaches would finish practice, and Kevin would stay, jogging laps, practicing corners, studying angles like a mathematician with a stopwatch. And he didn't just play midfield, he dissected it. He could see the game seconds before anyone else. Thread passes where no lanes existed. Not flash, not flare, just precision. By 17, he was a starter, and by 18, he was controlling matches. But Belgium was small. He wanted more. So when Chelsea came calling, he said yes. Big contract, big city, big expectations.
Kevin, first of all, welcome to Chelsea. How does it feel to finally be here?
It feels great now that I signed for one of the biggest clubs in the world.
But no welcome mat. One match, 90 minutes. Then the door slammed shut. They told him he was quiet, too shy, too cold. The tabloids barely mentioned him.
Not shy when it comes to shooting.
No, he takes his opportunities. He's only a young lad, but it doesn't seem to have overawed him at all, the challenger.
The manager barely used him.
What was the relationship like between yourself and Jose Mourinho during your time at Chelsea?
I would say distant. I only spoke with him twice. That's when I wanted to leave to Dortmund.
He trained, he waited, he vanished, so he left. Not to pout, but to prove.
But I was doing my job well. I was training hard. I felt for me at the time was better to go permanently and have a different situation.
Then he left Chelsea. That's where he came alive. 21 assists, 10 goals. He didn't just perform, he dominated. Week in, week out. He broke Bundesliga defenses like they were puzzles. Long passes over the top. Cutbacks with surgical weight. First-time volleys that turned heads across Europe. In Germany, he found his rhythm. And in that rhythm, he made noise. Not with his voice, with his feet. Now the world noticed. And Manchester City made their move. He wasn't there to fit in. He was there to take over.
At the end of the season, we can celebrate together if we won some titles. That's the main thing that I want to do here.
Manchester City wasn't a team, it was a machine. And Kevin was the engine at his heart. He didn't just pass, he dictated. Possession flowed through him like electricity through wire. No wasted movement, no hesitation, just sharp touches, timed runs, and that trademark bullet across the pitch, from left wing to right boot, without even looking. Then came the turning point. Pep's plan failed, De Bruyne faded, and City collapsed. But we'll get to that later. For now, the trophies came quick. League titles, domestic cups, records shattered. Fans called him a magician. But the body started breaking. In 2018, he tore his knee ligaments, the kind of injury that changes careers.
When did you first feel that something maybe wasn't right last season with you?
Bayern away. That was the first time I actually felt something in my hamstring.
3 months out, then another knock. Back on the sideline, and every time he returned, the margin got smaller. More tape, more ice, more painkillers. In training, he stopped going full speed. He managed minutes like a bank account, running low. He wouldn't say a word, but teammates noticed. He played hurt, because sitting out meant disappearing. Then came the 2021 Champions League. In Manchester City didn't just compete, they dominated. They topped their group with ease, scoring 13 and conceding just 1. In the round of 16, they swept past Borussia Mönchengladbach with back-to-back 2-0 victories. Bernardo Silva, Gabriel Jesus, and a thunderbolt from Kevin De Bruyne. Against Dortmund, De Bruyne opened the scoring in the first leg and controlled the midfield like a surgeon. Phil Foden delivered in both matches with clutch goals to seal the tie. Then came Paris Saint-Germain. In Paris, De Bruyne struck again with a crucial equalizer. From there, Riyad Mahrez took over, scoring once in the first leg and twice in the second. That's how Manchester City reached the UEFA Champions League final for the first time in club history.
We start with an historic night for Manchester City, who are through to the Champions League final for the first time. They were convincing 2-0 winners over Paris Saint-Germain at the Etihad, which gave them a 4-1 aggregate victory.
I'm the happiest man in the world right now to be in here. So it's a privilege, it's an honor, and we're going to try to do our best.
Maybe in the moment the strongest team in Europe and maybe in the world, and they have a huge gap. They have built a huge gap between them and us in the league.
Their opponent, Chelsea, a team they had beaten domestically, but one they could not afford to underestimate. City entered the final as clear favorites. They had dominated the Premier League that season. But on that night in Porto, something felt wrong. Guardiola made a bold decision, one that would be questioned for years. He started the final without a true defensive midfielder. No Fernandinho, no Rodri. Chelsea arrived with a plan, tight lines, sharp counters, and enough pace to punish City's high defensive line. In the 42nd minute, that plan delivered. Mason Mount split the defense with a perfect through ball. Kai Havertz rounded Ederson and scored the only goal of the match. But the real pain came later. Kevin De Bruyne, the heartbeat of the team, was forced off in the second half after a brutal clash with Antonio Rudiger. A broken nose, a fractured eye socket. He left the pitch in tears, not just from pain, but from the weight of defeat. That night ended in heartbreak.
Chelsea Football Club champions of Europe! With a bit of experience, those young guns of 2021 are the kings of the continent. The cup belongs to Chelsea again.
The critics pounced.
He vanishes when it matters most.
Kevin is not made for finals.
Manchester City's dream of lifting the Champions League was crushed. But that pain didn't break them, it built them. Over the next 2 years, they regrouped. They added the final pieces, especially Erling Haaland. They studied, they adapted, they evolved. And when the 2023 season came around, that season they made history, winning the treble. In the Premier League, City reclaimed their crown with 89 points, finishing 5 ahead of Arsenal. After a shaky mid-season, they returned to form with a 12-match winning streak. The turning point came in April. They thrashed Arsenal 4-1 at the Etihad. De Bruyne ran the show, scoring twice and assisting John Stones. Earlier in the season, City had dropped points against Tottenham and United, but when it mattered most, they clicked into gear. Complete dominance, start to finish. Haaland broke records with 36 league goals. De Bruyne led the league with 16 assists. Calm, clinical, consistent.
And still, the champions of the land, Manchester City.
In the FA Cup, they were just as ruthless. They opened with a 4-0 win over Chelsea, then beat Arsenal 1-0, Bristol City 3-0, and crushed Burnley 6-0 in the quarter-final, Haaland scoring a hat-trick. In the semi-final, Mahrez added another hat-trick in a 3-0 win over Sheffield United. Then came the final, a Manchester derby at Wembley. Ilkay Gundogan scored twice, including the fastest goal in FA Cup final history. 13 seconds after kickoff, City won 2-1 and lifted their second trophy of the season.
Manchester City have got the second leg of a treble and they beat the old.
Finally, the one they had chased for over a decade, the Champions League.
The entire world said if we don't win the Champions League, we'll not be complete. If we don't win the Champions League, we'll not be enough. We have to admit it, we have to accept it.
This time, they didn't just compete, they conquered. City topped their group undefeated, then dismantled RB Leipzig over 2 legs, 8-1 on aggregate. That included a stunning 7-0 demolition at the Etihad, where Erling Haaland scored 5 goals in one night. Then came Bayern Munich, a true European giant. At home, City dominated 3-0. Away, they held strong with a 1-1 draw. And once again, it was De Bruyne assisting Haaland with a perfect delivery. Then, the semi-final, Real Madrid. At the Santiago Bernabeu, Kevin De Bruyne silenced the stadium with a thunderbolt, securing a 1-1 draw. And in the return leg at the Etihad, City didn't just beat Madrid, they humiliated them 4-0. Bernardo Silva struck twice, an own goal from Militao, and a final blow by Julian Alvarez. De Bruyne wasn't just present, he orchestrated it all. 2 goals, 7 assists, the highest in the competition. But fate had one more twist. In the final against Inter Milan, De Bruyne went down around the 35th minute with a hamstring injury. He tried to fight through it, tried to stay on the pitch, but just like in 2021, he was forced off, again, in tears, on what should have been his moment. Still, Manchester City did enough. Rodri.
Team of all time, treble winners, Manchester City. Can you believe it? What a night!
Across all 3 trophies, he didn't just contribute, he defined them. And then, the end of an era. After 10 years of service, De Bruyne's contract with Manchester City expired in 2025.
Very emotional.
He left as a legend, 19 major trophies, including the treble, 422 appearances, 108 goals, and 170 assists. Fastest player in Premier League history to reach 50 assists. Injuries came and went, but through it all, De Bruyne delivered.
He has done everything for this club. He's absolutely legend. Will be remembered forever, one of the greatest players of all time of this club.